Lie, cheat, steal, have sex, do everything. There's no difference in the man that's homeless on the street as is the president of the United States. He's a human being just like the next one. He's gonna do the exact same thing. Why would you expect more out of another human being than you would another? I'm not gonna go swimming in the ocean and say, "Oh, this shark don't bite." Oh no, you a shark. You bite.
Right.
You gonna eat my ass up?
But people can't handle, it's almost like humans don't like being told that that's their nature.
Of course they don't, because it doesn't
It's
sound
like
good.
it doesn't sound good. Like if you tell a man, like I know that no, most men don't cheat. It's most men, and I'm like, I'm just saying, innately in a man, men have a proclivity to
Check.
be able to have multiple women, and that the fight is that I'm fighting you about what I already know you to do.
Down through the annals of history of man that we know, whether it be biblical or historical or whatever, have not men always had multiple women?
That's what I know.
David.
He was a ho ho.
Here you go.
David
So if that's the
David
case,
had
why are we
140
requiring?
1,000 concubines.
Here you go.
But that's
So today, why are we
lie
requiring the men to
about
only have one woman then, if that's the case? If that's really,
Abraham,
if we all know this part,
no,
which
all that. It's inherent in the nature of the being. You cannot, as much as you try to suppress it and change it, and instead of accepting it, whatever it is. Oh, well, we're not animals like that. Well, yes, we are.
oh, by the way, we live also, just to let y'all know.
hmm But why men to me, if you're again, it goes back to me. If I'm the type of woman to where I'm like, I know it's in your nature to go do this. The problem that I'm having is that even men are like, no, well, you're scorned because you think all men do this. And I'm like, I'm not saying it from a bitter place. I just know the proclivity of a man. And now it's like you're a bitter woman, you're jaded, you're all these things because you do know at the core of a man, he's very much so capable of having you. Whether it's this one is the one I talk to, this one is the one I screw, this one is the one that's for arm candy. Men won't say that. You could ask a man straight
What
to his face, do you have any other women? And that man will lie to you to your face and say no.
what
Oh, I'm
world
not
is that man
I'm
in
not that
though?
I'm not the type of man to do that. Or men don't do this. Like that's bullshit to me. I
What
know that you bullshit me, but it's
what
bullshit.
what type of world is that man in? Like you gotta realize too, like because when we say men, we have different grades, we have different levels and all that type of stuff like that. So when you're saying men do this, men do that, we have clear definitions between what we are and who we are amongst other men. So like a lot of the times it's like which men are you talking about and which ones are you understanding your definitions of them being? So for instance, a man that is of a certain caliber, a politician or whatever like that, what we call today, no, I'm not even going to say that name right now, but you can, if you've learned about them, if you've been around these different types of men, if you've been around these groups, so on and so forth, we have our own way of sectoring ourselves off between who is who and what's what, because we have certain value processes, we have certain lifestyles that we like, we have certain aims that we have in life, and those things that we have, we don't really mix too well with other people because those things kind of coincide. I mean, they kind of go against each other. So now your observation of the men that you're saying are these type of men, you can clearly say, okay, this man did this type of thing, this man did that type of thing, tally those things up, and what type of men are you talking about?
So
Because
you're basically saying that if I'm trying to clarify what you're saying, he's saying that it's a natural nature thing for a man to be able to have multiple women, but you're saying it's
yes,
not a nature thing.
wait, so now you got nature and nurture. We always go through these arguments when nature and nurture comes up. Nature is, yes, the proclivity of a man, if he was at his like at the basic, is to procreate, go forth and procreate, abundance, We're the ones that can actually, keep pulling it in. I mean, sorry, keep making more and more children. If we had more and more women, we want to make sure that our genes go forth, right? Now,
Right.
the situation of that is today, thousands of years later, we live in a society, in our society, because it's a different society once we cross the water as well. It's a different society once we go south. But the society of that we live in, and I'm gonna make it big, even more regional. In the society in LA that we live in, has a
Mm-hmm.
certain way of being with the men in this area. We've already spoken about this. You go to the south, those men gonna act different. You go to the north, those men gonna act different. And we all have in those three spheres, we all have a hierarchy of men. So what is the let's say, for instance, the type of man, the hierarchy, or like what on that level of hierarchy, who do you think you're dealing with when you're talking about these particular men? And that takes you to just be able to observe, and then, like, let's say, for instance, look for the information that that's out there about what men are when they are at certain levels, when they have certain thought processes, when they have certain mindsets that they put out there. Who are you dealing with? Like, and just to sum up all men, you'll be sitting there thinking that, like, the most, like, asinine, just weak ass motherfucker is the most bravest man out there just because he got a big beard, and he's like nothing. He couldn't hold. He could. He couldn't. He couldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to understand what men you're talking about, also, because a lot of these men too, they're adhering to certain rules, and like we.
Men just, I haven't encountered a lot of men that are able to just say, I'm going to be a man. And that means that I know my tendency. Yes, I would love to tell you that you're just going to be the only chick that I talk to. But that's really just not true. You're not going to be the only woman that I talk to. You're not going to be the only woman that I'm interested or that I look at or that I entertain. And that's just what it is.
Then that
So you have
means
to,
he made no
the,
promise to you. His thing is, like, our word, like, okay, I'm gonna say where I'm from. Like, I'm adding myself in, but I'm adding myself in this one aspect, in this one thing, and then I'm gonna draw it to some of the places where I'm from. When we say our word is bond, we mean, when you hear word is bond, that actually means something, right? When a man says my word is bond, for instance, as a Mason, some people don't like that, but it don't matter. Then, as a person from New York, those things meant that is a contract, or that it's law, that the word I just said, as I said it, what it meant is held all the way until the day I die, and probably even beyond.
Todd,
What's going on?
you know my friend Hiram?
I'm gonna say no, not at the moment. I'm not. I haven't admitted to this area.
Huh?
I haven't admitted to this area.
who is
Have you
hiring?
been down in the rubbish pile?
Wait, hold on. Like, you said Hyro or Hiram?
Hiram.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
a lowly mother's son. Yeah. I thought you said something. I thought you said another name.
But you travel, right?
Yes,
Okay. Which way you travel?
to the east.
Right.
But
Oh my God.
Something else you didn't know, did it? I said something else you didn't know.
I'm so
Please,
done. First of
look,
all,
it's
I know the whole little
pleased to meet you,
Mason
pleased
talk,
to
so
greet you.
stop.
That's what I'm saying. Pleased to meet you, pleased to greet you. But like, it's there's certain things, like, again, now with that being said right there, now, like, now I have to, with us knowing those certain things, we have certain value systems that come from that, the temperance that we have to show, so on and so forth, and the way that we have to address each other now has to be totally different, and in the guidelines in which that we actually promised that we would do so to each other. You get what I'm saying now?
I do understand that,
And
but
it just happened right in front of you.
yeah, but this is my point, and I know what just happened, but I can't speak to that because I already know that that's y'all thing. But what I'm saying is this: even though you have those rules to adhere to, that doesn't mean that you adhere to them. It just because you have you're a group of people who say we're supposed to do this doesn't make you do them. Just like if a Christian calls themselves a Christian, you expect that means that you're not gonna do this, but
No,
people are doing the opposite of what they say that they do. Like
that's faith, right? That right there, the Christian aspect, that's faith.
It doesn't change your nature, as Paul says in the Bible. Paul says, when I desire to do good, evil is always present. So it's not that it's not there, but you have a higher power to overcome and suppress that because of something greater than you. And if everybody doesn't have that, that's why I told you, Nikki, a long time ago. The first attribute that you ever want to look for in a man is a man that knows and believes that there is something that's someone greater than him.
right.
If he doesn't have that, just as a base core, then there's nothing to control or suppress. Not only that urge or whatever, but other urges to do things that our nature calls for. Our nature will call us to steal, lie, and do a bunch of other things other than just cheating. But if you don't have something that is a greater, higher power to you that knows that you have made a vow to or promise to or something like that, that knows that when these things happen, not if, but when they happen, you understand that they are of nature, and you could go to someone and say, forgive me for that because my nature kind of like took over and did that or whatever. It's not a judgment. We're all human. We're all going to do that, but you don't want to practice. And what you have to do is, it doesn't mean that the urge is not there, but you have more power to suppress that because you are performing to a higher power or something that is greater than you. But somebody that doesn't have that, or doesn't really care, or doesn't really believe that, is going to have even greater of a challenge because you're going to face the same challenge. He just has nothing to to squash that. It doesn't mean if you're saved or you're a Christian that you ain't gonna be mad, you ain't gonna fight, that you ain't gonna, try to take advantage of the deal when the lady give you extra $20 up the day. That's up to you. You already know, but it doesn't mean that you don't have that temptation.
Right, like right? I should just keep
this. I should just go ahead and keep this because that was her slipping, not me. The temptation is there. What's the difference in the temptation? The temptation is the same for the person that's going to take it.
Right, it's just that you chose to act on it.
Of you, it's not a judgment of you being better than the other person. It's just you recognizing your frailties and your shortcomings, and you know that you can go somewhere and say, "Oh, forgive me for this, for allowing this temptation to do whatever." And to be thankful that you have that you can go to that says, "I'm grateful that I have this." It's not I'm better than anybody else. It's not see, I didn't take the money. No, you wanted to take the money just like the other person did.
Right.
You just appeal to your power and say, "Lord, forgive me for allowing me to give into that temptation." You ain't better than the other person. But you have that. If somebody doesn't have that, they aren't going to have that to appeal to.
Yeah. This world is definitely like we're in a society nowadays to where that's not even no one is adhering to anybody. No one wants to listen to a higher authority, to higher power, to anything. Everything is like, I'm gonna do it the way I think it needs to be done, and they don't want to conform to what is morally right, because they have all these excuses. And that's and that it
doesn't change the outcome.
mhm.
If you look at, an example, you don't know everything that happened, but the gist of what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah is that's what happened. Everybody just started giving in to their own urges.
Mhm.
What we want to do. We don't want to follow rule. We don't want to follow law. We want to just do what we want. We want to have, sex the way we want to have it. We want to do this, that, and the other. Just because a society decides to do that
Right.
doesn't mean that you have to conform. That's even more when you have to step out of and be apart from that society. And even though it's dangerous, and even though it's lonely, that's what most people don't. Most people don't want to be lonely. They want to be part of the crowd. They want to be part of the
Yes.
accepted way of doing things. So instead of them standing on what they think or they believe, they end up giving into the crowd.
Because we make excuses for it. We justify. That's how you gotta do it
It's like
to get ahead. That's how you gotta do it.
Everybody just poking everybody in the booty.
Right.
I just want to get into that. Okay, well, let me just give it up. That's what everybody's doing now.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is that it's something about when people just shape automatically because it's like, well, everybody else is doing it. That's what we got to do now. And it's like, do you hear that? Then you hear what that means, though, right? That if everybody is doing this, you're gonna go for that too, because you're gonna say, well, that's all we got to make it these days. And what if that was the case, of totally against your morale as a person or your values as a person? Like, if you a person that you might not like poking, but if that's the way to get ahead, and now all of a sudden it's just like, well, shoot, in 2022, in order for me to advance my career, in order for me to get this house, in order for me to have these, so now you over here poking people because you're like, that's what we got to do.
Your love of money and stuff is what you just demonstrated and saying. My love of money and stuff supersedes my moral compass or my judgment, because this thing is actually become my God.
Yes.
These things have become I choose to worship it. And if it tells me I got to get poked in order to have it, then that's my choice. That's what it all comes down to.
Yeah, and that's
it's as simple as that. People have, so when we decide to do things, we can't use the excuse that it's, society, like the societies are always going to be in flux. Societies are always going to, there's a flow to societies. And these are the very things that Christ was talking about even then when he was on the earth, is that your thing is not of this world. These things don't change. People are after they're satisfying their own flesh. They're after satisfying this and the other. If you choose to live like that, you are going to go down that path.
Right.
If you choose to step apart and separate yourself, then you may not be popular. It may cause you some discomfort. It may cause you not to have that house or that job or whatever, but you will have your dignity. You will have your morals. You will have that. And if that means for the you selling out,
right,
then that's where you are. So either you are a sellout or you are not. Just as simple as that.
The saying too, when it says like come from among them and be separate, a lot of people are not willing to come from among them because they feel like it's what's gonna get me this level. Like whether like come from among, like even with how we're talking about the whole, right? The women don't want to come from among the other hoes because it's like I'm gonna be separate. The men don't want to come,
The men
right,
because they want the hoe, so I gotta be like a hoe, act like a hoe, look like a hoe in order to do that. But I don't want to be treated like a hoe.
Right, but you don't want to come from among them either.
That's
And the
what
men
I'm
don't want, and
saying.
the men don't want to come from among the playboys and the pimps because they like, well, I ain't gonna get no pussy if I do that. You know what I mean? So
No,
it's
wait,
the
they
same
will
deal
come
where it's
from.
just like
They'll
a
come
man.
from among.
I don't see a lot across society. I just don't see either party
If they find
saying
what they're looking for, they'll come from among them.
being willing to come from among the
You
people.
are not ever going to be. Jesus Christ wasn't popular because he spoke truth. People did
Yeah.
not like that because it exposed them and it pulled the cover off of the very thing that we're talking about. Is I'm just telling you. Basically, that's what Jesus telling you. Y'all all look like hoes.
That's what Jesus pretty
Y'all
much
look
is
like
saying.
hoes. And until you stop looking like hoes, you're gonna be treated like hoes, and you gotta come out from among the hoes, dress different, be in different places, so that you're gonna be associated with the hoes.
And make sure that you get the hoes out of your groups also, because they will infiltrate y'all once they see that certain men they want come near y'all.
Yeah,
Right.
don't bring other hoes with you because otherwise you just gonna be a hoe on a different corner.
Okay. That's
it.
real.
So I mean, I'm being very simplistic about this, but I'm just saying that that's really the rub of it is that if you want to do the right thing, if you want to get different results from what everybody else is doing, you have to do something different.
Yeah.
You can't play in that same playground and expect to get a different result.
Right.
As they say, we all know that's a definition of insanity. Is
Doing the same thing and
expecting
expecting a different result.
That's the simple of it. You want to ask, well, why are these women like this? Why? All of those women are in that group.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be different from those women, you have to step out from amongst them. And just like the men, there are going to be a group of men that step out from amongst the ones that are out there looking for the hoes. Because there are some guys that are looking for a little life. Does that mean he's not going to be tempted and have urges? No. But
right.
he that will have a higher power to appeal to will be less likely to do it than the other ones. And it doesn't mean that he won't. Once again,
right.
Go back. David wasn't being after God's own heart.
Yeah. And he was after all the women's cooch.
Not only all the women's cooch, he had the brother go get killed.
His best friend.
I got 144 wives and 1,000 concubines, but I will that. Okay.
The homie's wife.
The homie's wife. And he did it. Now, once again, does that take him out of, his role as being who he was and what all he did? No, but it just showed the fallacy and the frailty of man. Nobody is perfect. This is a man after God's own heart, that it was said. And if he can mess up, and if he can go that way, what makes you think that the next person cannot go that way? When there is nobody perfect. Moses could get to the promised land because he did a little cut up.
Mm-hmm.
All these people had human faults and frailties. And what we are looking for in somebody else, we don't even hold our own selves accountable to.
Right.
Why am I going to look for something in you that I know that I ain't willing to do?
Yeah.
Or I can't. Or I have done. What fairness is it of that?
Yeah. And that's I think that's a common thing amongst, I know I can speak for women, that a lot of women, their bitterness comes from the fact that I wouldn't do it. I haven't done it. If you're a woman that, like, if you've been in a relationship, for example, and you never cheated and you've never stepped out of any of your relationships, to a woman, it's like, well, it's very possible for someone to walk a straight and narrow when it comes to being in a relationship. That's a factual statement
Okay,
because I don't have a dick.
there you go. There you go. There you
So
go. You cannot compare yourself apples to apples if you are not apples to apples. If you are a orange and talking about what the apple does.
right, and that's what we women do. You look at a man's
Consistently.
face and
I'm an apple, and you
Yeah.
saying, how come, you're not sweet and citrusy? Because that's not me. I'm not sweet and citrusy. I'm an apple.
Mm-hmm.
Until you start to accept me for the apple that I am, but stop wanting me to be your citrus, we don't have problems. We can be two different fruits in the bowl, but you want me to be you.
Right.
That ain't gonna happen.
So why do you think sometimes when you are in a relationship with a man, and from various men, that some men are capable of seeming to like give us what I guess would come from a woman. Like you have some men are affectionate, some men are make time for you, while others are like, no, I'm about whatever. But if a man's nature is a man's nature, then my thing is, why aren't they all the same across the board? You know what I mean? Like
Well, because men are using what the tools that they have in their toolbox. The
Mhm.
objective is the
Check.
same.
Mhm.
The objective is the same. My way of getting to your coochie is the same objective as the other guys. His approach, our objective
Our
is
goals
the
are
same.
the same, right?
So he tries to get it with vinegar. I try to get it with honey. We both our objectives are both the same.
Mm-hmm.
And if you give it to us both the same, you're gonna get the same result.
And you know what? Sometimes I think like when we say the coochie part, like I think that part is like it is true, right? But the real crux of it all is getting to your womb. They want the whole thing of it. If you look, if we break it, take it away from the human aspect, right? The human experience of the intelligence that we have, and break it down to the situation of what every other animal on this planet does. They want to continue on their way of being able to procreate. But since we live past the point of our children being born and stuff like that, and we kind of coalesce in that situation, we still have that aspect continuing on after we have children. But
Todd,
mhm.
I tell her and I say this: pussy is the most powerful substance on earth. And I don't care what kind of pussy it is, whether it's mosquito pussy, dog pussy, cat pussy, whatever. Am I right?
Yeah, but that's what makes people do. The animals do the dance.
You see what the animals do? The dances that they do to get it, or the fights that they fight, or the whatever. They all fighting over pussy.
But yes, exactly. But for you other people who are out there that might be listening to this later, it's about it's procreation. It's pussy. Yeah, it's pussy.
Well, yeah, it is about.
Feel the procreation gene in the different animals that are to initiate the procreation. Procreation would not happen. So as a side effect of that, you have that. That's why in all the kingdom, whether it be the lion or the bear, whatever, they just look for a mate to mate with.
Yeah.
Period. I'm just mating with you to have a baby, and then whatever they do after that, they do. God put that drive, that urge in them so that procreation can happen, so that the species can procreate. Because we have the ability to do it more recreational, does not change the core meaning of that gene or that urge or whatever God put in us, which was to initially procreate. We just do it more as a recreational thing than most other animals do. They just do it to procreate. When it's mating season, they mate. When it's not mating season, they don't have the urge. Unfortunately, we have that urge all the time as our species does. And so, therefore, it's the driving force behind us continually or perpetually wanting to not ideally procreate, but we want to commit that act of it. And like other animals, I can spill my seed, get up, walk away, never see you again in life.
Mm-hmm.
May not even want to see you again in life. But at that moment of time like that, that's what I want to do. That's what I'm looking at you as, is that's what I want to do. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there to do it. So my asset might be, I'm kind, I got money, I can spend a little bit of money, and I'm going to be nice to you because I see that that gets me a reaction. Somebody else might be, depending on the environment he's in, being a thug, girls like thugs. Oh, I'm thugging. That's what gets me what I want.
Right.
I'm going to be like this. I'm going to be like that. I always say there's a difference in me, and they're all objectives the same, but I use the analogy. You have the sprinter, the middle distance runner, and you got the marathon man.
Okay.
They all are objective of the same thing. The sprinter just going to, run and hit it or try to hit it, and if he don't get it, he gone. Middle distance man, I'll hang around for a while. I'm not going that fast. I'm gonna pace myself. I'm gonna do this. But at some point, because I'm not a long distance guy, I can't run that distance. I'm gonna give up and I'm gonna back up. The marathon man is I got stamina. I can run for a long time. But there's still a point at that time that I still am going to fall off if I don't. However, with the marathon man, because there was so much time, because there's so much, I get a chance to learn other things about you aside what I'm chasing it.
Right.
And therefore, I get to know you as a person and as an individual. My objective is still the same, but now I've learned a couple things along the way, other things that I like as well as that. And so I have that. Now we have an opportunity to establish a relationship, but it is all going to be the same. And until we start accepting as a species that this is who and what we are, then we can start changing our way of operation of how we go about things. But as long as we still operate in the realm of fantasy and Cinderella and all that other stuff like that,
it's an expectation.
It's an expectation. Because we don't know if the prince beat Cinderella's ass every day.
Whoa. Whoa. Okay.
We don't know that. Matter of fact, he probably more likely did and sent her back home and said, "Go on back home with your crumb coat, alley cat, with your broke ass shoes. Go back down there because you ain't what I thought you. I was chasing the shoes of the fantasy.
Right.
And now that I got the shoes and I got you and the shoes fit you, girl, you can't cook, you can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah, all of a sudden, all that stuff.
Get up out of my face, go over back to your room in your corner.
Yeah, we all do that. I think we all do that for sure. I'm guilty of it for sure. When you see somebody, you meet a person, whoever it might be. It could be a girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever, and you meet them, and it's like, oh my gosh, she's so cool. She's such a vibe. You have a good time. You meet a guy. Oh my God, he's so sweet. He's so nice. And then after a while, if you stay in the marathon, you realize, I really don't fuck with you like that. Like I can live without you.
Yeah,
for sure. I can hella not ever talk to you again and be okay. And I think that we don't give each other room to do that because again, we're at that point to where we want step-by-step status updates of where we are. Because with us women, just like a man is just waiting for a good opportunity for him to procreate, a woman is like waiting for, are you trying to say that we're going to be a couple? Are you trying to say that are you saying that you really like me? So a lot of women are sitting back like, okay, that's a sign that we're going to get in a relationship.
And what's your name? You say Bobby Johnson. Ooh. Nikki Johnson.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's like, I'm sorry, I just introduced myself, and it's like Johnson, Nikki Johnson. Ooh, what's your favorite color for the wedding? And it's like, bitch, like, relax, okay? But it's the same way when you meet a man, because a man could be like, hey, big booty. I mean, hey, beautiful, how you doing? And it's like your mind is on getting that so much, but you have to go through the motions. Women go through the motions, men do, because a lot of women are looking and they just want so badly to be loved. And they want, and love is again fantasy for a lot of women, because love is what other women have told us love should be, and love is what exactly. And then when we get into the relationship, the divorce rate is what it is because I signed up thinking that same day, you know, the wedding day where all the girls are crying and they looking like he loved her so much, she just loved, we think that's what marriage is like every day.
Well,
and then we say
all the time at work, when especially I meet them, they're like, "Oh, well, we're getting married or we're going on our honeymoon or whatever," and I will ask them, "Did you spend more time planning your wedding than your marriage?" And most of them have to stop and think. And the reality is that they spent more time planning their wedding
than the marriage. Yeah,
your marriage is forever. Your wedding is one day.
Mm-hmm.
So all your focus was on that event, but not on your long-term relationship with this other person. And so you're happy about this event, but after that event is over,
Mm-hmm.
then you have to this person will be with this person on a daily basis. And people don't get down to brass tacks to figure out if we have the same financial goals, if we have the same spiritual goals, if we have the same ideas about what we want or something like that, or we're all caught up in the fantasy of the euphoria of the good times that we spent together, and every day is we're gonna be going out to
right,
and we're gonna go dance,
and it's no.
It's like, no, you farted in the bed.
Right. You snore and I can't sleep.
Right.
You take all the covers. You don't pick up after yourself. These are the things that, again, when you're dealing with someone, and I always say this, a lot of when I love you, as far as I'm concerned, is associated with duty rather than feeling. The feeling is very minimal to me in comparison to the duty of it. You're signing up for a duty when you're marrying somebody. And you're saying that I'm going to show up to this, to be on duty every day as best as I can. And so a lot of people, and especially women, we have a thing to where I will only do my duty contingent on how I feel. That's why women.
Love is not a feeling. Love is an action.
Love is an action, correct.
And so I can love you even when I don't like you.
Correct.
I can love you and not like the things you do, or not have you be around me because what you do or how you do things is adverse or whatever. But I can still love you, and loving you means I want the best for you. I want you to get straightened out. I want you to do this, but that doesn't mean that I have to stay in it with you like that. But a lot of that, especially when it comes to long-term relationship, is part of the due diligence of dating. People have misconstrued the whole aspect of dating. Dating that's the get to know you phase.
Right.
When you go in looking for a car, just because you walk on the lot, that don't mean that you got to drive off with the car.
Right.
Or that somebody's forcing you to say, "Oh, well, you stepped on the lot." So
you test drove this car, you writing a contract.
Without taking this vehicle, and you gotta buy it.
I'll be like, whoa, relax.
It's like, hold on,
I just gave this test drive this shit.
I just want to get the word though. Damn.
I just said it was nice.
It don't mean that I'm gonna even eventually come back and get that vehicle, but it's the dating process is we meet, we go out, we communicate, we find out if we have, life things in common, if we do this and the other. And all along the process, that's a build up to eventually us making a decision of wanting to be together. And that doesn't happen at the same time. That's another part that people get wrong. I could in 2 weeks choose to say, I don't want to, I enjoy going out with Nikki so much. I choose not to go out with anybody else but her.
Right, exactly.
But what we want to do is because I'm there, I want to impose that on you.
Right.
I want to say, well, now, Nikki, you can't go out with nobody else because I've come to the decision that I only want to date you. So now you have to do that. And you aren't there yet.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you aren't going to get there, but at this moment, you are not there yet. And until you actually get to that moment is only when that's going to jail. If I force you to come to where I am before I'm really ready to get there, then we will never get there because now you put me in a position where I'm not sure that I want to be in. Do I enjoy your company? Yes, but I'm not completely sold.
Right.
You are the only person or that I have found the one. So I'm still
explore. Yeah, I'm still exploring my options.
I see that car over there that other lot. I'm gonna go check out.
Right. But the thing is that as women, we also have to give a man liberty to do that. And we also have to be okay with doing the same thing. Because a lot of us women make the mistake of giving our body to a man and thinking that we want that. Well, we don't want to feel like that was in vain. So now we looking at you like, hey,
well,
that's your bad.
You as the car should not want to put yourself in a situation where you get repoed.
That is very true.
Because the owner that you chose could not really afford to pay the bill.
Right.
And next thing you know, you got the tow truck coming, repossessing you, taking you back to the lot.
Right. That's true.
Because you were so anxious to go, get bought. Until you got bought by somebody that really couldn't
AKA,
and didn't know how to take care of you or whatever, and now you repoed you back in the lot.
Now you got to enter into a whole nother damn contract.
A whole nother contract and all this other stuff like that.
And so now you're valued doing that.
That we can use for this, but it really boils down to we need to be realistic about things. We also need to be, not so hasty and not follow the crowd and what they're doing. Because if the results of what the crowd are doing are yielding a certain result, if you follow that crowd, more than likely you are going to yield that same result.
Mr. Ty, you quiet over there. Hello? Look at this.
So I muted a little bit because I was trying to see what the sound is like on the
Mr. Ty, you quiet over there. Hello?
Hold on, sorry. I was trying to check the audio on the internet and stuff. Y'all going good. I like what I'm hearing.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask you this. You're 20, he's a seasoned man. You're more of this generation. So question, if a woman asks you straight up and down, like, where is your status? Do you feel comfortable enough telling a woman that this is where I'm at? Like I'm dating multiple different women. I'm not, this is a 2022 guy. I just want to hear out your mouth from your perspective. What would be your straightforward answer to a question like that?
Depending on the mindset and what I'm actually doing, to be honest with you. Different situations I was in, different mindsets I was in, had me doing different things. The funny part about it is, if I was to actually just go ahead and tell a lot of women that part, it would actually make it not only easier, especially if I do it with a certain confidence, they would actually stay even longer. Matter of fact, they would do even more because they'll be competing like subconsciously.
So you're saying that that would be your answer to a woman if she said, you know, what will be your straightforward answer? Because
Like,
I hear what
so,
you're
like,
saying, but I'm
give me
saying
a
if a woman
scenario. Give me a
scenario,
scenario.
hey, how are you doing? This, that, and the third. I think that you're an attractive guy. Oh yeah, I think you're attracted to da da da. You guys exchange information. As you talk to that person says, so, you know, what are you looking for? Your response, would you be straightforward and say, I'm
Your
dating?
response, go, because like right now you feeding me. If
Oh,
you
I'm sorry. What is your response? Go. Don't feed. Go.
because like right then what you was just doing is what most of the time happens, and then the guy sits there and reads it, and if he wants to just get that ass, he'll be like, yeah, tell you whatever
Okay.
you want to hear. But like in a large sense, I would say for me, I know what I want and I know what I had, right? So a lot of men, you know, a lot of guys never even had a successful relationship, never even been in successful relationships. Most of my relationships were like long-term relationships. So I have a history of long-term relationships. But it's like, I guess the best way I can say it is from my observation of today and my trials that because I do tests. I do things that I probe with and check it out and see if it's consistent. And then, you know, I check and see, you know, hey, did you try this out? Yeah, I tried that out. So on and so forth. Everybody got their little like thing that they do. But so with that being said, I do my little test runs, and one of the test runs that I tried was just going ahead and saying, yo, like, I like you, I like what's going on and stuff like that, but I want to be real with you. I'm talking to multiple people, like I'm dating. So if you understand, you know, the whole aspect of dating, then you know we could be cool. And it was highly successful to the point where it was extremely successful.
Well, I think in that vein, because of the way things are in society today, the word dating is taken a little bit more seriously than what the word is intended to mean. And that way,
Yeah,
I mean,
they don't
saying
know what the word means. Like a lot of Americans don't know what dating is. Period.
if I
Overall.
say multiple people, that's interpreted you're sleeping with multiple people.
Oh no,
Right.
well, yeah, that could
No,
be
no,
that you're sleeping with multiple
perfect.
people, but also it's that you're testing you're testing your well, here in LA, it totally be something different than it would in like I don't want to say Arizona because Arizona is horrible, but like let's say middle America, right? It's totally different than it would be outside of the immediate LA area. It's different than it would be in like in I want to say Wisconsin or I want to say New York too, because like we got a whole different thing when it comes to like New York love. Like people will literally meet each other, yell at each other, hate each other for at least a couple of hours, and then all of a sudden you found out that oh yeah, they done got together, moved in, they got 3 kids already. What?
No, only thing I
So
say, I'm just saying that I think that the word in today's society overall, when you say I'm dating, is interpreted I'm sleeping with multiple people.
Because today we live in a world to where that's
Because
what
that's
that
generally
means.
what happens is I I say, hey Nikki, how you doing? You know, whatever. I said, you know, would you like to go to dinner? Either there's an expectation or a hope, and usually more often than not, within a date or two, it may not happen on the first date, but I guarantee you by second or third date, we bumping uglies.
Yeah.
now,
And one way or another, and like I said, it's never changed from the guy's perspective, but what has changed is from the lady's perspective is that they have started giving it up a lot more, whereas it takes away from the guy in my opportunity to get to know you because I was after what I was after from the beginning. Well, however I came to you. Because I came to you as being a nice guy, being a thug, being whatever I thought was going to get me to you. I'm there right now.
See, that's the now, and that's the thing where like I tell a lot of my female friends that since this is what it is today, why don't you go ahead and have fun? One of the things is go ahead and have fun. And one, you can find out whether or not he really wants to be around you, talk to you, all that type of stuff. If he's still there after the fact, after the post nut clarity, like after post nut clarity, if he's still sitting here talking to you, he's still sitting there, like being in a situation of like engaging your conversation. Obviously, there's something there that he wants to actually pursue more than like if it's friendship, relationship, like intellectual, like whatever, like he sees something more than just busting them cheeks.
How many women?
I see that as that's a very advantageous male perspective because you're still getting what you want. The fact of having fun, because now this woman is in a situation based upon what you said. I'm having fun 5 nights a week.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like how many times?
But that they already being hoes. They already being hoes.
How many bodies am I getting every week?
But that's the thing. That's the thing. That right now they're fighting against the situation of body count don't matter, right? And they're making a reality of they're making their own reality in this situation, right? So if this is what they are doing, this is their world right now that they're framing and doing all this stuff. If you want to adhere to this new world and you're doing this, you know what it is. You got also know. Wait, you also know outside of this what the rules are within our traditional way. You're new. If you're not traditional, why adhere to this traditional way? Like stop making the untraditional. I mean, stop making the traditional men suffer the situation of you not being a traditional woman, and vice versa.
Here's my argument to that. If that same woman came to you and y'all discussed about, oh, we're dating, I just want to date and see how things are happening. And she's like, yeah, I've been on 5 dates already this week, and I've fucked all of them.
But they're doing
that. To get it out the way.
Just to get it out the way. My mentality as a guy,
you screwing 20 niggas a month at
being the guy that a lot of the times I was some reason, somehow, some way, like smashing on first date.
You got what I'm after as far as having a good time, but I'm certainly not considering you. I know if it were me, I can just speak for me. I know if it were me, that would put a little damper on me having a serious relationship or taking this woman seriously.
I get that part because that's
because I'm not setting myself apart at that point.
Wait. Here's the thing. Look,
the leader of the
listen. I get what y'all saying. I do get what y'all saying. But again, here's the problem that lies is this. She's sitting there now. I'm not saying first off, being the guy that was like kind of smashing on first date, I get that part, right? But that's outside of like she's already doing it. She's going to do it to somebody else, right? But now here's the thing that's happening. These guys already know that they're doing it. So since they know that now they're doing it and they're doing it with these different men in a different way, they're not playing no more with the whole situation of them not giving them the same courtesy as they gave the other men. Now they're putting them in certain situations. They're saying, okay, well, if that's how you're going to treat me, I don't even want you anyway, because now you're giving me a harder time just to even be with you. And if that's the case, then cool beans. Now that's one mindset. Another thing is this part. She needs to know what the fuck is going on, right? So with her, because because she'll play this game and not understand that, oh, I'm gonna make him wait all the way until like this time, and then all of a sudden, when she finally does give it to him, he's gone. Why is he gone? Because that was the aim. You made him wait longer. That didn't matter whether or not he got it now or he got it back then. He still wanted the daggone get that. And now that he got it, he's good. He moved the heck on. The other guy who actually is interested in her, he's waiting because he's respecting her. Maybe he's waiting because he's putting a higher value on that situation. Maybe, but overall, he's doing it because he's like the stipulations are different. Now, if you go ahead and put that situation out there, take that thing away, right? Take that barrier of because also his mind is totally different until he hits it. I hate to admit that part. Until he busts them cheeks up, he has a whole totally different mindset about everything that's going on with you, him, and everything else, right? Now, once he gets it, he gets this, like, his brain starts working differently. And then all of a sudden he starts looking at her differently. And then it could either be he wants everything that's going on with that situation after, or it could be, whew, okay, now I'm done.
But see, a slow moving man to me is not going to sit there and know from the rip, like, okay, yes, you bust your nut, you get clarity, you look at this woman and you're like, oh, she is a nice chick. That has nothing to do with you now saying, I want to committed anything with her. That just simply means that now you're looking at her now.
Wait,
sure.
How you telling? Here you go. How are you telling a man? Like, I'm telling you directly what it is at this point. I'm telling you, we see y'all two different.
Here, and that's your perspective, and then this other man is saying something different. So that's why.
That sex does change things, because this girl could be. You can be this girl. She could be Sunshine from Harlem Nights. On the phone, I ain't never coming home. But she just rocked his world. And he never had nothing like this.
Mm-hmm.
So now judgment is clouded. She could be the Black Widow, and he don't care because she has just rocked his world.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same way the other way. The girl could meet this guy. He could be Jack the Ripper, but he put it down. And she like, whoo, I ain't never had to put down with me like that.
Missy earlier in her song, she said, pussy don't fail me now. Right. She said, so he don't want nobody else. Right. So that's what women do. Women will sit up there and think.
She like, dang, I don't care what this. And I hear it all too often that these girls get caught up and guys get caught up. They get caught up in the. That's why I believe that on an overall basis, that sex early in a relationship is not the best thing, because it is a judgment clouder, and it allows you to overlook a lot of other aspects of the true part of the relationship because the sex is good, or or it could be vice versa. It could be the sex is bad, but that's a mind changer. So before, and I know the theory is, well, okay, we go all this time, guys great, girls great, we got all this stuff in common and whatever, and she don't even know what her coochie is.
Right.
Or he got, I got to pull out the magnifying glass to see his dick. I get
tweezers.
I get that part. I get that part. You can be mad as hell.
And that's the reason why you need to just get it out there and get it over with.
Like, if you was over here really, and I liked you. That was crazy. I actually like you, and this is what I'm dealing with. Okay. You better pray to God. I like everything else, and I'm a woman, and I'm a sucker for the way you make me feel, because that's about the only way.
But
Listen,
that again,
every-
that's why you need to get it out. I hate to say it that way.
I don't have to
But
have sex with you to see that though. You can pull them things down, and I can see that immediately. Okay, wear your sweats. We gonna see something in a minute. We gonna know what's going on. Wear them
Look,
gray sweats. We ain't gotta
but
do
if that's the case, then
But
if that's the case,
we gonna do a touch test.
if that's the case, right? We should get the same courtesy
Y'all
of.
see it.
Wait,
Y'all
no,
can
we
our
don't
movie.
see it. Y'all are a manufacturing situation of lies on a regular everyday basis.
Oh,
From look, we can't even tell what men are men now when it comes to the people who want to dress up like y'all, because there's so much technology that y'all use from them to make them look like y'all that now we can't tell which ones is the real thing. So now a man like me got to be on some. All right, let me see your birth certificate. Dad, they could change those. Let me see your ID. Dad, they could change that. All right, let's see. Let me trump you real quick. And nope, they can change that now too. All right, so the only thing we can go off of is the foot size, but some of y'all tall chicks have got some big feet too, and the hands. I think that's the only thing we could go off of right now is the hands.
Yeah, that's what my dad just said. He said, you know what, you can't change other hands. Let me see.
Hold your hand. Okay. You see how a man's hand is?
Uh-huh.
It goes out and it comes up. A woman's hand goes smooth up like that.
Like it's almost like a square.
You see how this is like kind of.
You need to be showing this to me on a video to be like, look, over and out.
That's something that you cannot. Whatever operation that you get, that's not going to change. You see how your hand just goes up like this?
It's like a curve.
It's like a curve up. A man's hand protrudes out and up.
See, sooner or later they're gonna fix that too, because they fixed the Adam's apple on the YT people.
But for now, y'all go ahead and just make sure you're over and out, okay, with the hands, over and out, man.
Now, no.
Let me see your hand.
Right.
Put your hand on tight.
At this point, I have to actually ask directly: are you able to procreate? Can you actually give birth? And if they lie, I'm suing. At this point,
when they gonna change that experience? I'm sorry, you can get all the money in the world, and I've done the unthinkable. Like that ain't gonna erase my thoughts. But I don't agree with that. I think that's foul in every sense of the word, because it's like that's something that you can't come back from. You know what I mean? As far as a man, that's a lot of. You're not gonna just take that on the chin like that, in my opinion. But
take what on the chin? I'm sorry, I missed something.
Dealing with a transsexual.
Wait, don't say that word. Let's say transformers.
Okay, dealing with a transformer, and you didn't know that person is a transformer, I think that's something that you don't cross that line. Like if
I even have to have that thought, it's over.
Right.
Yeah. Like, if I even have to wonder and say, I wonder if, or there's something that tricks that just triggers me, and I could be 100% wrong, but if it's something that triggers me, I'm not going down that road.
I'm sorry. I'm at the point right now where I look for like there are feminine qualities, or I'll say feminine errors in not feminine errors. I want to say feminine defects. There we go. There are feminine defects in every woman, right? That some men don't have, and or they don't have them in a situation in which, let's say, for instance, the transformer usually doesn't show. So I look for these feminine defects just to be able to feel comfortable and safe enough to be able to talk to her. Because if I don't see those, I don't. There's no interest at this point now. If she looks too good, automatically now she's X'd out. Unless I see at least 1 to 2 feminine defects. Some of it could be just the way that she presents herself or her mindset. Like if she acts extremely bougie for some reason, in a way in which she thinks she's the shit. So that means, okay, you've been like this for a very long time as a child as well. And you've been told you was pretty all your life type of deal. And if you, like some of the girls, if they look too pretty and then automatically they just give in right away, something's wrong.
Well, I personally don't like I don't like anything fake or altered. I don't like fake titties, fake booty, fake lips, fake nothing. If I see that, you out with me. I don't that I do not like none of that. And I can tell a fake titty or fake booty or fake anything from a mile away. And
Mm-hmm.
even if I'm wrong, I'll err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, I just don't like that look.
Look,
I
yeah.
don't like that feel. You know, you might fill out a blood or something like that, but you can tell that those are fake breasts or fake booties or they this, that, and the other. And, you know, there's a difference in a big booty or something like that. But if that's what you out there, and you know you got a big booty or you know you got big titties or something like that, and that's what you advertising, that's what you selling.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of these people are aiming to look look good enough, but natural enough where we can't tell.
And then when I take you up on it, and you're gonna have a problem like, you just looking at me like I'm a piece of meat. Well, you know, yourself out there like a piece of meat.
Right. You know, it's funny because I you know, the assets that you help create. So I do get all sorts of, you know, attention in different ways that guys approach me. But it's always like after the fact, after they either interact with me or after we have a conversation or whatever it may be. Normally, I don't get what I think is the same response. I do see the guys switch their angle up and they switch up their approach because they like, okay, she's a different type. So I'm gonna have to either come at her with something different or whatever. And so the set of, I don't want to say the set of lies, but the set of bait that I get now is that I get baited by men that esteem themselves by being like a certain caliber of a man. And because it's almost like I know that must be something that can get you. So now it's about, okay, well, I have this type of career and I drive this type of car and I'm the type of guy that's a one-woman man. I get that type of bait, and it's still bait.
Wait, you
But
see,
now,
you saying you get that type of bait? No, you are now that type of fish.
I'm the type of fish. Okay, I got it wrong. I got it wrong.
He's fishing for, like, for instance, if you look a certain type of way, you're projecting to a certain man you're putting out there something that he wants. So he's going to approach. So the other guys who were looking at you that different way, they don't have the bait, or you're not the what's another way. Well, you are the fish, but let's say he's looking for a certain type of fish. He's out there searching for marlin, right? And now you're presenting yourself as a marlin. The niggas that was looking for catfish can only go to the daggone to the side of the river or the side of the lake to be able to go get fat catfish. But you got to be in a boat to get a marlin.
So am I the bait or the fish? I just know
you're a fish.
Yeah.
You're the fish. You're the fish. Guys use everything that guys do is bait.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The car, the clothes, the talk, the swag, the attitude, all this is bait.
Right.
We're baiting for we're baiting for fish. Now the issue is that you might have the bait, but you don't know what you're fishing for. There's a difference in fishing just to catch fish, and there's a difference in catching a specific
the fish that you want. Yeah.
In order to fish for, you have to know why I'm looking for that fish.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm going specifically, I'm fishing for halibut. I'm fishing for halibut for a reason. I like the taste. I like the this. I like the this. I already know what halibut is. I'm
Yes,
fishing for
yes,
that.
yes. That's
But if
good.
I have no idea what halibut is versus catfish
Mhm.
versus shark versus whatever, I'm just throwing my net out there in the water.
And I'm checking every fish
whatever
to see
fish
whatever
that comes in
type.
there,
I'm like, that one tastes
Yeah,
good.
I'm gonna test the fish, and I'm like, whatever. And so there's a phase in everybody's life where you just casting out the net to just get in all the fish that you can, and you tasted them. And at some point in time, you will develop a liking for a certain type of fish. You're like, okay, I caught all these fish. I'm gonna try catfish. I'm gonna try, shark. I'm gonna try halibut. I'm gonna try salmon. Ooh, man, I like salmon.
Right. Exactly. You
salmon.
start to have
So
a
now I'm
preference.
starting to target the salmon. And so
Mhm.
I have to either adjust my bait, or do I have the skills, or do I have the wherewithal to really go out and get the salmon? Am I willing to do what it takes to go where the salmon are, to get that and stuff like that? And all these things like come into play. And I think that part of the biggest issue with people hooking up and getting relationships is that if you don't know what you are looking for,
yeah.
how are you going to find it? How do you know when you have found it?
And you need
That's
time to be able to figure that type of stuff out without
and
being
that's the
put
part
into.
I'm saying, that you're not if you're younger, the younger a man is, in my experience, the younger a man is, a lot of times those are the men that are just, again, casting the net about with whatever he wants. And it's like, if you're older, which I date older.
I want to
So,
say this
like,
part too. What about the
older
women?
older men have a tendency to, again, have already casted their net. They done threw back all the ones that they don't like. They have a preference. They know what they want. When you're still dealing with a man who's casting his net, that, as a woman, my advice is you shouldn't even be.
But sometimes I like halibut, but I don't have the skills to catch halibut. But I do know how to fish. I know it's a lot simpler and easier for me to go out and catch some catfish.
Correct. Yeah.
So I'm not really, I don't have the confidence in me going out there and getting what I really want, because I feel that, and I may know that I lack the skills or the ability to really go out and catch that fish. And to be able to do that. So it's very simpler for me to just go down to the local pond and fill up catfish, cast my net up in there, and pull up a bunch of catfish, because it's simpler and easier.
Wow.
It could be the situation.
I see that.
It could be the situation of you don't even have the resources to be able to go get the halibut at all. You don't have the resources. You got to get on the boat to go get that daggone fish. And then,
like I tell people too, is that more important than what you want is what wants you.
Right.
Because everybody wants a job that pays $100,000 a year. Are you qualified to get the job? You can't just walk in there and say, "Well, I want the job that pays $100,000 a year." They're like, "Well, what qualifications do you have?"
Right.
Well, I don't have any qualifications, or why does that really matter? Because I want the $100,000.
Here you go. I got another situation for you that you could
to get it.
I got another situation to throw out there too, because the men also are receiving exception and rejection, right? So I'll put this one out there for you. I knew I wasn't capable of really being with, let's say, hood chicks when the reaction of what I was doing at the time and what they were kind of like was consistent. And then when I changed it up, that certain thing wasn't consistent. So when I was being on my prep mode, because at one point it was like a whole thing to be preppy and stuff like that, hood girls would literally either get angry or like chase you away or something in that manner, where they'd be like, "The fuck is you talking to me for?" Da, 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 da.
Well, let's stop right there. Is why was you looking for hood girls in the first place?
Because I lived in the hood. I'm from the hood. I hate to admit it, but it is what it is. You
And
know.
that's all you.
So now you being in your element and you dealing with the situation that it is, and learning your environment, that's what you're doing. You're probing in your environment. So when these women did these particular things, it was a situation of, oh, okay, got it. Status change, look change, appearance change, and that the exact same person who's the same core, but it's just like a little bit of a change in certain other situations. They all of a sudden acted different because I treated the situation differently. Now I could flip back and forth between being the prep as well as being a good on the, like, the little street dude, right? And it was something really telling when it was a situation of when I'm naturally being like the whole, let's say naturally being the little prep dude or whatever like that. That was accepted in a whole different arena and area than it was in another arena and area. And as you start observing what that bait is, as you start observing what that bait is and what the reactions to the bait is, you start realizing what to use, how to use it, and when you should use it.
Yeah, but you also did not even realize that there were any other fish available. You
Oh.
only knew fish meant catfish.
At that time, I would say yes and no, because like I was constantly in and out of different environments. So for me, I could see if it was the average person who never really left and went to different environments, absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely right. It would be no other thing that I would have seen that I would have just adapted to that and then just went after that. But because I was able to see so many different environments, it was like, wait, but let me try this over here real quick. Okay, let me see this over there real quick. Oh, I see that doesn't work here, but it works here, so on and so forth. I would have fully agreed with you on that, but I realized, look, I keep getting told the same thing. You're different because of blah 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 blah. So, but I probably would have just adapted just to the way those women acted too, if that was the case.
I'm just saying, I get that. If you don't know any better, girls and guys that just grew up in the hood, never came out of the hood, that's all they know. That's their lifelong goal is to do that. Then they're subject to that just being that. When you have had an opportunity to experience different things, when you've had another opportunity and you have tasted halibut and salmon and the other, and then you go back to the catfish, and then you expect it to taste like the salmon and the halibut. That's the problem,
Right.
and that's what I see happening a lot. Is that
Yes.
people, they go out and they say, okay, it takes a little work to get the salmon and the halibut, better to do the catfish. So I'm going, but because I know I like that, but it's because it's more difficult and more challenging, I'm going to take the easy road out.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go back and I'm going to still fish in this pond where the catfish are. And I hope by some chance that I catch a salmon or a halibut on my line.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the sad part, is that people keep doing it, and that's where people don't. That's a lot of mistakes in it, and then they get mad because they're fishing in the thing where all the catfish is, and I can't never catch.
Where are all the good men?
Right.
Not in this part of the ocean.
Yeah, and that and
they're not in there.
They're not even in the settings that you're in. You're in a club saying we're all the good men.
But again, it's
All
not
the
in
men
that part of the
are
ocean.
All the men are in there for the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, what club are you gonna go to? And girl, I found me a good wholesome man in the club. Very rarely will that be your story. If you're going to, it's almost like a guy going to a strip club, and he like, man, I can't keep doing nothing but meeting hoes.
Well, you know what? Let me ask this: as a I was gonna say self-proclaimed good woman. Where should women be for men to be able to meet them, or for women to be? Well, we know where the men are. I'll say that later. But where are the women? Where should they be in order for the men to go and
I
find
would
them?
tell women to go to environments that you aspire to be at with the men. So like if I were to say forward thinking wise that I want to be able to go to golf clubs or something else like that, you need to be around some country clubs. There's a certain bars that doctors attend after they get off of work versus the hoodman it attends after work. So there are certain hotel bars you're going to likely meet men who are traveling, right? Men that travel normally need money to travel. Men that are traveling around normally travel for business, meaning that they work. So this is a whole different type of bar that I'm meeting people than it is if I'm going to a club, to where it's like those are the people that work 9 to 5 jobs that then are going to the club for like a relief of some sort.
Yeah,
Whereas
but you can't walk up into the country club and bring the club up in there.
no, you
Hey,
can't.
yo, what's
Yeah,
going
you
on?
can't.
Oh, yeah, you see this booty shaking? You see the booty shaking?
You don't want the twerk
Yeah, you can't
to follow.
twerking and stuff like that, because they be like, oh, okay, no.
Right, but again, that's where he's gonna be like, you're not who I was fishing for,
But
right? You're not the type of fish that I eat.
but he'll
So that
also
you
like
are
X out
using
that
those type
space.
of settings, you going to if you like yachts, if you whatever you like that's more refined, in my opinion, if you're looking for a more refined man, those are the things that he would be doing. You know what I mean? And in my opinion,
But
is
that
there
has to
like
be-
a
that
gas?
has to
Is
be
there a
your true-
pole?
But that has to be your true thing. You just can't go up in there
Mhm.
because you want that type of man. That has to be what you really that really speaks to you. I mean, if that's your like, I like yachting, I like whatever. I gotta have been yachting before I go up into the yacht club.
Right.
Don't come in my space trying to change it up to make it what you are.
Teach me how to yacht.
Right.
If I like this, I gotta come with some credentials, like let you know. Yeah, I know what yachting is. I know how to act and behave on the yacht. I know how to do this. This
Exactly.
is what I do. Blah blah blah. He's not gonna come and take you out on the yacht for the first time like that. Once again, unless I'll take you out on my yacht for a booty call.
Right.
Here's another reason. Like, okay, I get what you're saying too, but like, this is why a lot of men say women aren't really fun, and it boils down to the situation of
Women are fun. I didn't know that.
no, a lot of women aren't fun because it's really all about them, and it's not really about let's say if this is the situation at hand, and like that's why when you do, okay, for instance, I think no, we're not gonna add you in. You have situations where guys will have a girl in the group, right? Nobody slept with her, nobody messed with her. She's always there, right? She might be bomb as hell, right? Now, some guys they might be trying to smash, but let's say, for instance, these guys are in a relationship or whatever like that, but it's this one girl that's able to come around the group all the time. You know why she can come around? Because she understands the language. She probably has a common interest that the guys have, that she can actually keep up with them on that particular topic about or something like that. Keeping it simple, let's say sports. She's a basketball fan. She might even play basketball, right? So now the other girlfriends is like jealous and mad. Like, why do you always got this chick around? Ooh, Jessica? Ain't nobody trying to mess with Jessica. It really is. Nobody's trying to fuck with Jessica. You know who Jessica is? Jessica is like literally, she put herself in a situation in a way where we don't even see that she got a daggone vagina. She got a penis. She is now part of the crew. She is one of the niggas. And that's all it is. Now, some men that be like, oh, you can't be friends with females. That means you ain't got no dick control. I understand. But like that, and then that's my opinion. That's what I always throw out there. But like when it comes down to it though, period point blank, she's putting herself in a situation where she can be around us. And if she can run just as fast, if she can jump just as high, if she can compete and it's all good, she ain't complaining, she ain't bitching about actually having to compete with us, Man, come on through. What you got? What you bought some wings or something like that? Come on, girl. Let's get this cracking real quick. Let's watch this game. Ain't nobody worrying about it.
Now, like right now, I am of the mindset I don't want to date nobody that can't jump in the swimming pool without a swimming cap on.
Right.
Yep.
Or even wants to like, get her hair wet, period.
And it's not a judgment on whether you black or white or green or blue or anything like that. I'm not talking about the texture of your hair. But if you got that confidence where you can go and you could be a black girl with, nappy hair or something like that, or not nappy hair, but black girl with this and the other, but you're not afraid to go and do that, and you can go and do what you got to do later on, and you got to be all this and the other. I don't really want to be around people like that because it's like there's too many issues.
Limitations.
There's too many issues and limitations on what we can do, or what we might want to do, or what I might want to do with somebody. I don't want to do that. I know you say, Nikki.
No, you don't.
Nikki got 20 crosses over here.
No, this is to tell people to save themselves trying to cut step to me. That's what they said. They need 6 crosses. You don't say that.
Look, don't be that person. Don't be that person. You sitting here trying to holler, and all of a sudden she said, "Have you accepted the Lord Jesus Christ as your Savior?" I hate that way. It'd be that ultra pretty girl too.
Save yourself. That's what this means.
Look, it'd be that ultra pretty girl, and she's like that bait to try to pull you into the daggone like the youth services and stuff like that. She come up to you, "Oh my God, how you doing? Oh yeah. Why don't you come with us and stuff like that? Oh my God, it'll be so much fun." You're like, "Oh yeah, sure. I'm gonna talk. Oh yeah, I'm gonna holler at this chick."
Listen, women love a man in church. Let me tell you why women love church dudes. Because when a man is a church dude and he's been in church for a while, he has the core values that you want in a man. Like, he knows what he's supposed to do, even though he don't do it. But the thing about it is that some of the men in church be the most well-versed. They're the most well-versed men in every area, like in the bad boy area. So it's like you get the bad boy plus you get the but at the end of the day, he got morals and respect his mama. I think a lot of dudes probably don't get that, but a lot of women fall for dudes that come from the cloth because they have that dual side. They have he knows better than to hit me. He knows better than to do this. He's more than likely traditional to where he does pay for everything. But on the flip side, he's like a dude that graduated from the streets and just now knows better. And he tries to do better. So that happy medium right there is a happy medium. It's like, I'm not dealing with a dude that I got to flinch at every time he, get at me. He's not arguing with me about
I see this church you talking about.
Traditional. And then on the flip side, you know what I mean? He's also, not, I won't say like bad boy enough, but he has enough edge to him to where it's like, you had to come here for some reason because you probably done been out there a little bit or possibly still currently out there. Who knows? But that's,
What church is this? Because this must be like the church, like right around the corner from hell. Because like most of the dudes that I be seeing, like unless they older, the older folks, the older dudes still got the masculinity going on. But like the just at the pinnacle of or at the end of Gen X and a little bit younger, a lot of them dudes the sugars smell real sweet from the tank.
But I think you're looking at the dudes that are participating, like the choir directors. You're looking at the guys that are in the choir and stuff. I'm talking about dudes that
I'm not even talking about them.
The deacons or the dudes that are around church. It's a lot of dudes that are in the church that I can't say are all dripping in sweetness. There are a lot of dudes that are absolutely the polar opposite. And they're dripping in other things, but they're definitely not dripping in sweetness. So yes, are there men that go to church that are dripping in sweetness? Yes, but they're also equally as many men that are out there that again have that the guys that I'm talking about. I wouldn't even necessarily. I don't check for dudes with sweetness, so why would I care one way or the other? Like I don't check for you. Like you're not an option for me. You're one of me. So I'm not checking for you either way. So I'm not looking like, oh my God, I'm outnumbered here with me and the sweet guys. Like, no, like I know y'all here, but there's another set of men that are out here that are again from the streets, but they're trying to do better. They're from
What
whatever
church is
their walks
this?
of life and they're trying to do better. And so they're there, but they have it's like it's a two-in-one special. And I think a lot of women do fall for that because a woman does want a man that's as well rounded as possible. I will say that.
You want a best friend. That's what you want. You
A
want a
man,
best
if
friend and
that's
a
your like,
man.
if you my life partner, you better be my best friend.
Yeah,
Damn it,
but it's
that's
certain
what
things
it
that you
is.
gotta talk to your girlfriends about, and certain things that
I agree with that too. I'm not asking my man to come with me and
bitch.
let's
Let
sit
me
at the
tell you
nail
what
shop
happened.
and this, that, and the third. I didn't say that. But that doesn't mean that the man needs to ignore you completely unless you're talking to me about other stuff. It's balance and everything, of course.
Yeah.
So everybody, I think, at the end of the day, would like a well balanced partner. No guy wants a woman that's yang 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 all the time. No guy wants a woman that's so silent that has no idea what she says or what she feels or what she thinks. And the same goes for a woman. No woman wants a man that is constantly beating his chest all day, telling you how much of a man he is. And then I also don't want a man that's sitting there looking like I'm going to like hurt your feelings if I say something in a different in a tone that you're not used to. So it's just a balance. Like be a well balanced man. It's about your capability of being a leader. When you're a leader, you know how to handle multiple different personalities. You know how to handle multiple different situations, and you don't lose your shit off of the fact like, damn it, I only want to manage these types of people. Like, well, that's just not the way of the world, bro. Like you're dealing with the office full of different personalities and people. Learn how to lead
Okay,
everybody, not just
so
one.
let me see what you think about this. This is because this is a concept that just came out, or it didn't just come out, but it's something that's talked about. How can a man, right, be in a situation in which he's supposed to take all the responsibility of a situation without having the control? How, like, if a woman were in that situation, how would she be actually handle that? Where she takes all the responsibility, but she has no control.
I don't know, because if we're talking about genders and control, then it's different. I can only speak to women. Are you asking for the
That's what
woman's
I asked.
perspective?
I said, how
Man,
would a woman handle that where she has all the responsibility of a situation, but none of the control? So you're going to be responsible. You're the manager. You're responsible. You're there. Like you're in, like even you're going to be blamed if things go wrong, and you might not get full credit if things go right, but at least you still get the let's say the finishing product of it being right. But if things go wrong, it's going to be on your head.
so I think I can speak to that as a single mother. The same thing. You're in full control, but
No,
you
you have no
really
control. I just said you have no control.
you have no control. But
That's it.
what? I guess you're in a relationship with someone to where you have no control, but you're paying everything.
You're taking care of everything. You have everything. You have all the responsibilities, but then you have no control over anything that happens after the fact.
That I don't think that can exist,
It- it-
because in order for you to be in a relationship with somebody and you're giving money over to say person, and then you say I have no control of that, you handing money over is something you can control.
that's the only thing you can control.
Yeah, is your money.
Is you handing it over. But after the
Right.
fact, if anything goes wrong, you have no control. How would a woman handle
That's
that?
true.
Okay, you could give the money to the person to pay the bill, right?
Uh-huh.
But if they don't pay the bill, it's still your fault. But you still have to give them the money in order for the bill to be paid.
I don't believe that. I
What
think
do
that
you that's no,
if
that's
you
the
give someone,
that's the actuality of it. Just
well,
like accept
maybe if
that
that's
part
your
and then move
experience.
within. No. You're changing it as I'm saying it. The thing about it is the reality of most men is that is the case. But what I'm trying to do is make it consumable so then you can actually experience it as we're saying it right now. Because as a woman, you wouldn't experience it the same way because as a woman, you don't have that. As a man, we do.
So, to-
Okay. Um, for me, I don't wouldn't know how to handle that because I haven't been put in that position and I wouldn't know. Like, to me, that there is a way, but I guess you're saying don't use that scenario. If I was a guy and I handed money to a person and I said pay the bill, and I see that the bill is not paid, and maybe you say, well, I didn't pay the bill because it was short, or I had to go and buy this, that, and the third. Okay, I'm gonna give you. All right, that might have been a little mistake. Second time, I'm gonna do the same thing. That might be another mistake. Third time, if this is your habit of not doing the task that I ask you to do and not completing it successfully, I'm no longer going to hand you that task, because the bottom line is I'm not going to sit in the house with no lights because you don't know how to take care of the bills.
But you're contractually connected to this person. So now at this very moment, with that contractual connection, they still have access to whatever they want to do. So what can you do to try to stop that person from doing anything?
I think that you're talking about, I'm looking at a specific scenario because I'm using the bill thing as a scenario.
The bill thing is actually a very, very subset part of the scenario. It was just one piece.
So are you saying control their actions? Are you saying controlling them going out? Are you saying controlling their mouth?
I just
What
said
are you trying to
paying the bill.
control?
Like now that part is adding on to anything else. What I just said was you gave the money to pay a bill. They did not do that. They did what they wanted to do with it. What can you do about being responsible for every action within the group, but yet no, you cannot, you're responsible for it, but you can do nothing to change it.
But you pay the bill yourself. That is to me, that's a very quick resolve. I'm paying the
Okay.
bills. If I make the money and you don't pay the bills properly, I'm paying the bills. And what else is there to discuss?
You're unable to pay the bill. The reason why you're unable to pay the bill is because you're not there to be able to pay the bills. You have to give it to them.
So you picked the wrong mate.
Did you pick the wrong mate?
I did. I can admit that. I definitely picked the wrong
No, I'm
mate.
saying
But
like, did the person pick the wrong mate? Not you. I'm saying did the person pick the wrong mate?
well, yeah, the person did, because in
Stay in the
partnership.
scenario, babe.
Okay, but I'm saying in partnership because I thought you was like, oh, did you? And I'm like, well, yeah, I did. But I'm saying, if a guy, like, in my opinion, if you can't pay a bill, and like we would have these conversations well before I'm entering into a lifelong contract with you on your ability to pay bills.
But I'm a
So
leader.
why now
You're
when I get with you, you don't know how to pay bills?
but you're a leader. So in being a leader, you taught that person, or you at least showed them what to do, and then still they doing what the heck they want to do. But at the same time, again, you're contractually connected to this person,
And
and
by contract, I'm gonna do the job, and you're going to sit this
you're
out. You're
already
no
doing the
longer.
job. You're doing your job. You're doing what you're supposed to do.
So are you saying that you can't, like, if that was your scenario, you telling me that you would just let that woman, you would just hand over the check each month and just pray to God she listens someday?
That's not my scenario. It's a scenario of a lot of people that's out there right now where, okay, for instance, you could be in a relationship with a person. I was trying to give it without giving this part. You could be in a relationship with a person, and in that relationship with them, you're in that relationship, right? Now, either it's a promise or you got married, right? So it's one or
Okay.
the other. You have no control over this relationship because any other tool that you like that you would use at the very moment, they're trying to criminalize the situation of you being able to control what's going on with the finances in your home. It's called is now going to be a situation of financial abuse. Then they'll be like, okay, well, you any type of vocal presence towards your person will all of a sudden now be mental abuse. And if you was to stop them from doing anything, that's physical abuse. Oh, she can't go out, so you stopped her from going out. So now she's being physically abused.
I just don't. I mean, I think that that's a very extreme conclusion to come to just because someone tells you you can't pay bills any longer, and I scream financial abuse. That's like being a Karen in your marriage. That's not what he's doing.
You do realize there's a lot of Karens out here.
It's very possible, but if they need to hear a woman who is saying something different than the Karens, I'm speaking to the Karens. Then stop caring. Stop being Karen in your marriages. Stop being Karen in a relationship. If a man is saying, "Hey, I gave you an opportunity to pay the bills. Unfortunately, those needs were not met, and because that is the case, you are in control of paying the bills." That is not, oh my God, you're financially abusing me, because you're not taking anything from her. You're just taking a responsibility away from her. But you're not taking money out of her pocket. Now, what's financial abuse is now when she goes to the store, or now when she's going out, you're basically saying, call me first if you need groceries. Call me for, I'm turning the cards off if you make me mad. That's financial abuse, because you're now using your finances in order to try to, you're abnormally using your finances to try to control your woman, when it should be a conversation. I shouldn't have to turn a card off for you to follow my instruction as my mate. I should not have to do that.
Now let's see this scenario. Is it automatically a situation that the woman has full rights to obtain or use any of the let's say resources of that man without asking?
No, I think respectfully she should be asking for not permission, but she should be advising you of a purchase.
But wouldn't that be a call?
Huh?
Wouldn't that be a call though? Like
a phone call?
Yeah, like you where I'm going with this, right?
If I'm in a store, I have your credit card, right? We have a credit card as a couple. I'm in a store, I see a ring, I see a bracelet, and I'm like, oh, I like that bracelet. Out of respect for you as my husband and my partner, I'm gonna say, hey, this bracelet is on sale for like $50, $500, whatever. Is it okay for me to get this? If you turn around and say, no, babe, I don't think it's a good time, we got a lot of stuff ahead of us, or whatever the case may be, out of respect for your authority and for you being the person that makes the money, I'm not going to get that unless I have some money of my own, that now I'm like, okay, now I have to dip into my own savings
out of respect for you,
what I want.
That scenario, at least the price tag has to change on that one.
Well, you know what I mean, just for
because $50 at this point, I'm saying like $50. Yeah, the fuck is you asking me for? Shit, you should have put this shit already.
Well, no, but some men, it's like that's a stretch. Like, oh, that's my haircut money. You never know.
you put a bracelet for $50. Oh, that's cute. But yeah, I get it. I'm sorry.
You said $50.
I'm thinking you about to say like 15,000.
Well, first of all, why that? If I come, this is my thought. Okay. If I'm out somewhere and I'm about to spend $15K, that's not a phone conversation. Because it's like it's a hasty choice to make for you to even say I'm about to spend 15K. If you left the house this morning and you were just going to do your everyday like housewife things and you stumbled upon spending 15K, that's a whole conversation in and of itself. How did you manage to happen to spend $15,000 just today?
I'm gonna say this to any audiences that as you can see, I put the pressure on everybody. So, yeah, I apologize. I realized I was putting more pressure on you than I needed to. But yeah,
No, I mean, I just like these to me, this is like what's happening right now. Yes, that's just not an adult choice to make. I randomly go out and I'm now about to spend $15,000 for no, like, is it an investment? Is it something that's going to make us more money? Because
I
now
mean,
we're having a different type of
look
conversation.
at these purses today, though. Look at what these y'all ain't buying. We don't care. We don't know. Oh, I'm gonna say, man, I don't club something like that. But past that point, I gives too. So, like, I'm sorry. That's to
It's just
see
that
a
my
bag
mind is
cost
somewhere different.
$3,000 to
Yeah.
$9,000 to $15,000, and it's a bag, a leather bag with like, okay, it has intricate stitching that you pretty much take care of. You don't even really. It's not a tactical bag. You know how much my bags cost that keep things in place, that if I'm running or if I'm going under a fence and then the fence might just so happen to grab it and it doesn't just like all tear apart right off the rip. You know how much that bag costs? $50. And to get it
Right.
really
But you know
nice,
what?
$100.
But whatever it is that everybody has their thing to where it's just like, look, if I think I want it, if I want that, that's what I'm gonna spend my money on. Everybody has that, man or woman, to where it's just like, yeah, I could not spend money on this, but that's my toy. I like it, whether it's a camera, a drone, whatever your thing is, that's your thing. You have you have every right to indulge in whatever it is that you so please, as long as it's not at the detriment of our finances.
Look,
right? That's my thing.
if the option was there, I would yes, I would have a robot.
Right.
Yes.
And if that robot was $15,000 one day when you were in the store, if we use a people, for example, that might say, hey, you know what, this robot is going to, in the long term, save us such and such and such. You might be the type to where it's like, babe, I'm about to go spend $15,000 on this robot. The reason why is you're that type of person that's going to convince me or convince your other person that it's necessary.
But if he can, if he or she can afford that, it's not really a problem, right? It's the people who don't live in that boundary. Because, like, for instance, I got a, I don't know if I should be. Well, no, it ain't really. So I got my brother, for instance. This guy, he owns a $500,000 watch. I don't see the value in it, but in the crowds that do, I talk to a couple of people, and they're like, "Oh man, it's this, it's that," da, 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 da. And I was like, "Oh wow, it's a big thing in certain crowds," but to me, it's not. But I understand because no, actually, I don't. I don't. It doesn't have. It can't even hook up to my phone.
Right, but what you find valuable is not what he finds valuable.
Exactly,
You know what I
I get it.
mean? So in your mind, that's what I'm saying. To you, you will be like, "What the hell?" And that's how I look
That's
at a
all
lot
it
of
do.
the
It
bags
just tick.
today.
It don't even tick. Like I don't.
That shit better do everything. It better give me. It better check my blood pressure, my sugar. It better tell me when to wake up, when to go to sleep. It better tell me
It
how
don't do none of that.
I can make money for a day. You got to do some stuff. You
It's
know what I mean? But
gold, and it's a watch, and it's $250,000. And I'm sitting here like,
again, if it's something I can make money off of, then it's an investment. If it's not, then
oh
it's
man.
I'm losing money.
But I get it. That's I brought
You a
because
fool for
look,
that.
I brought that up because it's the same feeling that I have for women who buy Birkin bags and stuff like that that don't live in the social economic class or the class in which to be just buying Birkin bags like that. He can do that. I'm not buying a $250,000 watch. Like I could
But
probably buy
again,
a
it's
$5,000 watch and not
it's
think about it.
priorities.
I could
It's
buy
a
a
priority for
$5,000 watch and not think about it, but not a $250,000 watch.
right. Well, but that's again, it goes back to like what the hell. And I'm one of these people. What I don't like is this. If you're a person that has like a $500,000 car,
Mm.
but you're pulling into an apartment that doesn't have has shed covering, I just feel like there's a mispriority of things, right? Because you could be a homeowner or you could be anything, any of those things. Like to me, that's where it's like it's a mispriority of things. Why would you want a guy to buy you a bag that is, said $5,000, $10,000, right? You want him to buy you a $10,000 bag, but you better have A1 damn credit. Because for $10,000, a lot of times you could pull her out of debt to where she can now afford to swipe a card for a $10,000 bag. Make it make sense.
Let me
Like if you're gonna hand me $10,000, if I have any type of credit card debt, I'm using every bit of that 10,000 to pay off some credit cards. I don't want you to buy me a bag.
Let me ask a question because I really got this is getting to me now. What is a Birkin bag anyway? Like what's special about a Birkin bag?
It's just that it's a bag that another woman can look at and say it's expensive. That's what it is.
It don't have no secret pockets or like
no, it's nothing special about it. It's just the name brand, the name, the designer, whatever. That's the reason why it's as costly as it is. It's simply because other women can recognize that and see and think you have status and or money. That's it.
I want to segue real quick because like I realize everybody talking about it. I wasn't going to do nothing, but now I want to do something. Have you seen the new advertisement that was on this the app called Black, but it was on YouTube just recently, right? And it's showing have you seen the advertisement first before I even describe it?
No, I have not.
So there's an advertisement out there right now with a dude that screw it. He's a alphabet community rapper called Santana.
Okay.
Saucy Santana, right?
Okay.
And alongside with the Saucy Santana dude is Trina on top of it, talking about no voting, no vucking.
What does that mean?
I'm damn near to the point where I'm gonna go ahead and send you the link so you can see what I'm about to put up here, so then you can go ahead and experience this experience with me, so we could talk about this situation of no voting, no vucking. I only watched about 5 seconds of it, and then I realized I need to turn this off.
Yeah, I need help with that because I don't even know what that means even.
You need to see the video. Like I'm seeing pieces of it as I scroll and stuff, and I don't want to really look. But
no, I don't want to really look.
It's almost like that animal video that I put up to make sure everybody experienced the death and horror of dang, that was bad.
That was grimy.
I'm feeling it now. That was horrible. So everybody else got to experience it too, since I already got to experience the bad. So yeah, I'm gonna pull up this video, right? Do you have your laptop with you? Because right now we did this whole thing 2 hours with y'all on the phone, which was kind of bomb.
Oh, okay, dope. Okay.
Didn't even know that it was like, gonna go this far. I thought it was gonna be a short conversation, but it's only way longer than that.
Mhm.
Now, if you got your laptop, do you have your laptop with
I do have it with me, even though I'm scared to say that because maybe I could have gotten out of this.
you? That-
Oh God.
oh man,
Um,
look. So what's gonna happen is this though. What do you think about the situation of the shifting? Because as you're talking, I'm gonna go ahead and fix this up and then get it going and stuff. But send you this text message, and then you can go ahead and pop in that information into yourself. I mean, into your computer.
mhm.
Unless you want to just come on the stream and then boom, that from there you'll get the understanding. Well,
Yeah, I can do either or. Actually, it would be better for you to send me the link because I don't know my Wi-Fi here at that. Let's see. Or maybe I do.
oh my goodness,
Oh,
this is very interesting. Yeah,
let's share it. Let's see. I do have his Wi-Fi, so
this is crazy. So okay, there is a shift that's going on within the black community when it comes down to voting. They're
mhm.
starting to see it with one of the main precincts when it comes to the black thresholds, and that is Atlanta is having a problem with black men not voting the way they expected them to vote, which is just kind of funny to me. Because they shamed them into voting the way they wanted them to vote last voting season. So now, when this one's coming up, it's going to be a situation of I think it's going to be epic disappointment on the black half, but like not on the male half. And here goes the link. And the reason why I say that is the all this conversation that we've been having, a
Mhm.
lot of things are unsaid. And part of the problem of it being unsaid is that men have been pushed to the brink of 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 of, of a lot of things that they feel are not right in their own opinions.
Okay.
And accepting that I don't want to do it on this one. Let's go to another page.
Just for once, I would like for Mac to pick up when I have a Wi-Fi connection.
Let's see. So where'd your father go? Because like he was spitting that game.
He had to take a nap because he has to work. The women are paying his bills over here. Apparently, he's not hip.
Look, we need to we look. I'm about to make a whole channel just on these conversations because, like, I swear to God, these things have developed some really good topics and talking points and businesses from get go.
Mhm.
So this is look, y'all understand. Y'all don't
I love the
understand.
old school, new school vibe to where it's just like, okay, this is the way it used to be. No, this is the way it is now. Like, trying to
even
tell you that.
it's even more different than from me to the younger dudes. It's
Yeah.
like, and it's only a 10-year difference, and that 10-year difference is a big difference. Like what, shoot, 20-year difference, I guess. What your daughter is going to go through is going to be totally different than what you went through, and then what you're going through is totally different than what your mother went through.
Absolutely. And that's my mom. Even when I talk to my mom about the things that I deal with today, she's like, "Girl, it couldn't be me." Because like even it's not even just her generation. She was born in the 60s. So in her generation, they look down on day, so to speak, because they feel like there's no way that a man would be getting the cookie without, you know, giving up something like giving me money or taking me out or doing this. So today, these women, they're like, oh, y'all, you let these men do this, that, and the third, and you telling me that like he don't have a car or you doing this for men that don't work, and they look at us like we're despicable because they're like, y'all crazy. There's no way we would even let a man touch us if he didn't have
See, but
this. But they don't live in our world.
yeah, but they come from the ain't nothing going on but the rent version. Like it's a whole different thing. Like we come from no scrubs version, and now these kids out here got a whole different version of like, look, they 30 times past the coffee date. Look, if she ain't sucking dick when I meet her, she ain't
right. Exactly. And I'm like, these men are not out here, She's like, yeah, these men, they ask me, can I pick them up? And she was like, I have just never heard. And I'm like, Mom, get with it. Like,
but also again, like people don't like me talking about the look, we in LA. Totally different situation. Totally different situation.
That might be why she's surprised too, because she's from Texas. So she's still thinking about men.
See, that's a totally different, like that's a world away. That is a world. The men of Texas, the men of Alabama, the men of Georgia, the men of Florida. Alone, the difference between a man from Florida and a man from Georgia, two different things. From North Carolina to South Carolina, two different things. So, like, it's funny because like it really is that these are two different states, but yet they're actually two different countries. We just, in my opinion. Oh, sure, I might have to cut this a little bit short. So after we watch the Saucy Santana, because my new package is coming in, I'm tracking it.
Oh my goodness!
One stop away.
Here we go.
The new microphones is coming in. So let me see. No voting. This was crazy. Oh, yep, there you go. Official. There. Let me pull this up. Did you get the link?
Let's see. Let's see. All right. I do have it here. Oh no mas.
Because I'm not experiencing this one by myself. I already experienced some bad stuff today.
Oh my God.
Oh man, watching that animal get torn apart was not a good feeling.
Dang, you making me not want to watch it more. For some reason I feel like I'm gonna happen to see it and be sad about it. I am backstage, okay?
All right, hold on, let me put this back. Drink. What's going on, people? What's going on? Make sure the cameras is off. Oh, did you get a all right.
Oh, I guess it says my browser has lost connection to my mic. So can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you, but go ahead and reset. Like, pull out, pull out, and then pull it back. Pause. Pull out and put it back in.
It doesn't. No matter what way you put this, it's going to sound horrible. Pull it out and put it back in.
Leave the studio and then come back in the studio.
Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Thank you so much.
Pause.
Wait. Man. So hang up.
I'm assuming hang up. Well, we're gonna have to hang up on the phone too, but like
well,
yeah. Oh, you're right. I didn't hear you. So yeah, go ahead and leave the studio right on with the YouTube part because I won't be able to hear you. Because wait, that's on your computer, isn't it?
No, so I'm on my phone right now.
And you're on your phone with the
and I'm on my phone in StreamYard.
Okay, so yeah, hang up, hang everything up, and then come back in StreamYard with the link.
All right.
212. How y'all doing again? We're gonna make sure you can hear this video.
I'm here.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Scared that. All right, there we go. That's what's up. So,
See?
all right, let me see if I can get this video going real quick. So, yo, this is crazy.
Oh my God. Let's see.
I'm already like, yo, what is this? So, this, yeah, we're gonna just go pick it. All right. So yeah, Saucy Santana and Trina. All right, so this is Saucy Santana and this is Trina, and we know Trina. Everybody has known her lyrics to be some of the most raunchy, sexy lyrics from and she's a Florida artist, so you know how it is. We love the Florida boy folk and all that type of stuff. Well, I do, I guess, except for Clearwater. Fuck Clearwater.
Okay.
Everybody know, if you know me, you know why I don't like Clearwater. Other than that, it's just a joke. But so yeah, I have no idea.
Oh my God.
Can you see this?
I'm afraid.
So this Saucy Santana dude is the same type of dude that said something like, "We're better women than y'all are." So y'all better submit. Y'all better make these separations. All I'm saying, y'all better make these separations. So, hey, let's go. 1, 2. Can you hear this?
Okay.
Do you hear the video? Like, I'm trying to make sure we can hear this on.
Yeah,
on
I
the
can hear it.
Hold on, let me make sure we can hear this on the stream. Let me see real quick, because 1 second. Wait, I didn't set it up so we can rewind. Okay, well, excuse me then. Look at Trina, old ass, still looking good.
Now voting, no loving. Now voting, no touching. Now voting, no nothing.
Okay, that no voting, no. Oh my God, this is horrible.
Did you just stop it?
Huh?
Are you stopping it?
No, yeah, I did stop it. I'm pushing the audio through the.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if we can hear it now. This is.
I mean, his jacket is cute.
Now voting, no.
Okay. Wait, did you just say his jacket?
His jacket is cute. It's on fleek.
Oh, hold on.
Listen, I entertain myself. I'm gonna tell you that.
Okay. Nah.
I entertains me. Okay.
Give me a second.
Fucking no voting, no fucking. Now voting, no loving. Now voting, no touching. Now voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. BLK app looking for some action. Swear the homie stop what's heavy. Faces a 9, abs a 10.
Oh, you started.
All right, so we know it works. We know it works. All right, yo. All right, I know. so okay. Oh my God.
I'm tired of you laughing this hard already.
Oh, because I heard the hook and it's blowing my mind already. All right.
You're a fool. Let it play. I wanna laugh too.
Okay, I'm starting in front of. Look at this dude in the background.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's the distraction for me.
Look at the other dude in the background. Hold on, it's dudes in the back, like regular dudes.
Yeah, that's the point. But I want to know what this is about. So go.
Okay. So the app BLK, the dating app for Black, right? The Tinder of Black people, right? That is where they advertise this, because that's where it's starting off at, is what it looks like. So
download BLK app, got it. Make a profile, got it.
Straight checks, I think we got one.
It's voting season, bruh. No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. BLK app looking for some action. Swear the homie Scott was hit. Face is a 9, abs a 10, D is a to be determined. He got mad jokes, he don't seem broke. The only red flag, he said he don't vote. This midterms for all the single cute. Wanna hit this booty, gotta do your civic duty. No voting, no loving. No.
No.
He's so okay. So they okay, holding the coochie hostage till you vote. Okay, or holding the booty hostage.
All the men in the sound of my voice. If y'all don't vote for your own interest this year, you got a problem. Because this is gonna happen even more. They think that they can tell you how to actually vote by telling you ain't gonna get no pussy.
I mean,
We
there's
were
a
just talking
market.
earlier. Go ahead.
This is a market. This is a marketing strategy.
Exactly. And that
To-
marketing strategy is we control black men through their penis. I'm at this point. I'm I guess it's visible that I'm flabbergasted, but I didn't know that it's. Why are we being spoke to from somebody who's not in our community? They're in their community. So why is this even I'll let it play some more, I guess.
You sound so sad.
No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking. No voting, no loving. No voting, no touching. No voting, no nothing. No voting, no fucking, no voting, no fucking.
Yeah, don't stop now. Stop my ballot box again. But my homegirl through. Put the buy in partisan. Politics be so nasty. Make me wanna flirt ya. Show you how to be a poll worker. Legs in the air, I don't care. Anyone could get it. Universal health care. If you wanna come before the deadline. Come in the jacuzzi, gerrymander this coochie.
No voting.
Well,
Gerrymander this coochie. Before you come, you gotta be. Yo, all niggas is idiots.
so I think
if you accept
I think
this
that-
shit, all you niggas is idiots. You fucking dumb. You're dumb. You're dumb. Because hopefully this works. You're stupid. You're idiots. You're fucking like you're the worst of the worst. If this is what you're going to use to make sure that you vote, if this is what's going to shape your mindset towards putting your fucking vote in the ballot box, I hope. Go ahead, say what you was going to say.
Do you think that this is happening in a literal sense? One, do you think that a man is yeah? Let me just let you answer that.
Do I think what?
Do you believe that if a man meets a man, if a woman is meeting a man right now, one, is she posing the question, do you vote? And two, is she literally holding herself to the standard that if you say no, I'm not fucking you?
The going situation with women in our community and in our culture is they're followers. Whatever's on the TV, whatever's on the daggone screen, they follow. So now this is going to be something that's going to come up because a majority of our people, and especially our women, are followers. We already noticed. That's why they advertise to them like that.
Okay. So do you see this coming down the pipeline as a problem for a man, that he's going to be forced and swayed or persuaded to vote, because if not, he might not get.
He was already persuaded to vote a certain type of way earlier before. That was already the problem. But now that I've already said this to you, like, and many different other people, before with the whole situation of the alphabet community uses the regular, let's say, well, I'll use the term, and this right now, this term is a bad situation because it just takes away the right of that situation being just a regular woman. But a cisgender woman, they use cisgender women as a way and a means in order to get their agendas passed. Right now, this person right here is being used.
Do you think that it has anything to do with the fact that Atlanta is the gay capital?
This woman's from Florida.
But this movement started.
It's not. Oh wait, no.
Atlanta.
LA is the gay capital. The second gay capital for Black people, I would say, or the gay capital for Black people would be Atlanta, but it's not even nowhere near the same numbers.
Okay, so that's so maybe that's what I'm speaking to. I'll stand corrected. Atlanta is the gay capital, the Black gay capital.
Mm.
So with that said, you have a gay man trying to get men, whether they're gay or straight, to vote. And you have a woman, a raunchy woman, or a woman, Trina, no shots fired. That's your cooch. So you have her soliciting for men to vote as a heterosexual.
Co-worker.
Then you have a alphabet man that is promoting the same thing.
I don't know what the alphabet man is promoting at this point.
Well, if he's in the video, he's endorsing what the song is about, which is no voting, no effing.
Like she
that's
said, like 2 to 3 different agendas. Like I heard no agenda coming from the gay man except for
he's standing in there with. We haven't gotten that far or seen the whole thing, but he's in the video with her. So I'm not going to dissect his verse versus hers to see whether his was more whatever. He's in the video with her. He started it off. He's obviously endorsing the bottom line point of the video, which is no effing, no voting. I mean, no voting, no effing.
I actually I kind of agree with it, right? I do, but
because if we break this down and we remove, the ideal of, well, what does this mean for our future, guys, and what does this mean for whatever? The bottom line is that it's a solicitation or a marketing strategy to entice Black men in a certain audience to vote. And so if those Black men are moved by the fact that it's another man on there that likes men too, by saying this is what we're standing behind, then it's gotten a lot of people, straight or not, looking at the video, talking about it, which is ultimately the goal, is to raise the awareness. Now, if you stand at the polls and say, well, because this song came out, I'm not going to vote, or because the way that they made us get here, now I'm not going to vote, then we have a problem. But if you go to the polls as a result of this video, or whether you go to the polls or you don't go to the polls because of this video, the awareness has been brought up that we're trying to get you guys to the polls. The means in which they chose to do it and how they got you there is up for debate. But the goal is for y'all to get to the polls.
When you get to these polls, vote your interest. Do not vote their interest. Vote your interest. You need to figure out what it is that's being sold to you at this very moment. Because unless you want to be talking like this and voting and voting, I'm sorry. I'm gonna play the rest.
Hey, no love, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing. Can't let me down, gotta stand up for something. No voting, no love, no voting, no touch, no voting, no nothing. BLK, we gon' stand up for something. Yeah, that's right. No voting, no love. If the coochie is the goal, don't hit the pose. Period.
Yeah. So yeah, I think as a man maybe it hits different, and I can understand that. But as far as I'm concerned, like I said, the video is the caliber of how the solicitation is happening is up for debate for me. But
I've been mentally tired for 3 days now, for probably even a whole week. This has added to it. Like I'm ready to go get something to eat.
you gotta protect your peace. You don't be letting this stuff get you all up in the bunch.
This shit.
Like, don't let that it because you can't change anybody but yourself. You
Oh
cannot,
God.
you cannot you can't make someone stand for something or anything else except if they choose to stand for it and they happen to agree with you. Cool. If your way of life influences another person enough to want to make a different decision, amazing. But that's all we can do. I can't make anybody do this, and I'm starting to realize that like I'm not going to and I can't allow for things that I can't control to internalize it and then think catastrophically of, well, does this mean that we're going to do this and that and the third or whatever? Because my thing is there are concerned about that.
I couldn't hear most of what you said.
Is really what needs to follow up, because otherwise we're just complaining about things as though we don't have control over them. If we don't like certain things, we do have more power than what we allow ourselves to think that we have.
I want everybody to be happy, and I want my shit to be mine and their shit to be theirs, and there not be a problem with me liking what I like and them liking what they like. And that's cool. I feel like we could all live in harmony in this place, and we could be good. Just stop intruding on my on my plot of the land, and I'm staying away from yours. So why you keep coming closer? Why are you taking a foot away from me every time I?
Don't be stressed.
I'm not stressed. I'm
it's a disappointment in your voice. Like, these kids today.
It's not kids. It's the society today, and it's like, so you think that it's okay to speak to me in this manner when you know that not only does it annoy me, but it infuriates a guy like me. I want to be talked to with from a person who represents me about these type of things.
Is there not a straight black man out here speaking to this situation?
Sure. The way I'm feeling right now, I don't know. I don't think it exists no more. I'm really slightly perturbed about this. Like, I didn't think it was gonna be that bad.
Because the thing
The
is,
imagery.
because what you can do, honestly, you can be that representative. If you don't want to see them up there, you get up there too. So there's a choice.
I'm
Some people are
literally
gonna
the
listen
black.
to them.
I know I'm literally the black version of Sharia law. Like, yeah, they don't want that.
Well, I mean, if you represent a group of men who are just as frustrated, who are just infuriated as you are, but they just want to see someone like them, you know, to represent their voice, you could be that voice. You're a straight man, you know what I mean? You're a guy who has an opinion, who feels like there are certain ways that would be better for us as a society. And so why not be that guy? Because we can all get frustrated and you know, in whatever. You have a right to feel the way that you feel, for sure. But more importantly, if once everybody get mad, who do they turn to? If people like you just get mad and just say, okay, well, I'm just mad and this is a shame. It is a shame, but like you said, come from among them. Make yourself separate.
What is that? What sermon is that?
What
Where does that come
scripture?
from? Yeah, what scripture is that?
I will look it up because I'm not going to pretend to be well versed enough in the Bible to know that where exactly it comes from. But it is a scripture that says, "Come from among them and be ye separate."
Hold on, I'm gonna type that in right now. As a matter of fact, true that, because that one is needed.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, the thing about the Bible that people do like to villainize is that it's there are a lot of key words to live by, right? There are a lot of wonderful
2 Corinthians
things.
6:17.
Boom. Right? So there are a lot of key things in the Bible that are valuable and that you can apply to everything and every way in life. But because people villainize who's preaching the Bible, what it's supposed to mean when they say X, Y, and Z, they take away from those valuable scriptures that really apply to your day-to-day life. And we throw them out there all the time, just like how you say separate yourself. That is no different than what the Bible has been saying. If you're going to be a certain way, whatever way that might be, separate yourself from the crowd so you won't be included with whatever repercussions go along with these people that believe or think this way. You know, and that goes across any aspect in life. I tell my kids that if you don't want to be associated with the kids that are the troublemakers in school, if you're in there, if you're surrounded by them, you can't throw out the, oh, well, it wasn't me. You look like them, you smell like them, you act like them, you talk like them, you're going to be associated with them. And so it's the same thing in life, period. You know, when you associate yourself with something, they say you are the company that you keep. It is the same principle that you look like them. You know, I'm not a playboy,
You know
okay,
what?
but all your homies are. You don't look like
I
any
think
different than the other.
I want to end it on this. I want to end it on this. And I'm gonna say it. 2 Corinthians 6:17. Because everything that you just said was perfect. Therefore, come out from them and be separate, says the Lord. Touch no unclean thing, and I will receive you. And I'm gonna leave it at that. You got anything else you want to say?
That sound like Sunday service to me, and amen and hallelujah.
Y'all better separate yourselves, ladies.
Back on y'all. See that? How you turn the scripture around to a ladies? See y'all, he just said